Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Finance and Claims Committee of the City of Norwalk Common Council for today, June 12th, 2025, beginning at 7:08 p.m. Sorry for the slight delay. We had a previous meeting, but we'll proceed forward at this time. I'd like to start by calling the roll of the Finance Committee. Councilmember Johan Lopez,
Present.
Councilmember Ann Witherstrand,
Here.
Councilmember Heather Dunn,
Here.
and Councilmember Greg Burnett. Councilmember Jim Frayer, Doug Sutton are unable to join. I don't know if Councilmember Dewan Wiggins has joined. It appears he has not. However, we do have a quorum. Thank you. So we'll proceed forward. First item up for a vote will be the acceptance of the minutes from the regular meeting of April 10th, 2025. And you might recall that we had requested for these minutes to be redone and edited because there were a number of corrections. We have a motion to approve the minutes from April 10th, 2025. Councilmember Ann Witherstrand, do we have any additions, deletions, or changes? I have just three minor ones. On page 2, paragraph 6, where it states close out the books. It should be add the word for the month. The word for, F-O-R, should be added to that sentence. Also on page 3, the second paragraph, where it states Mr. Sutton moved, it should be spelled M-O-V-E-D. And at the bottom of page 3, the third paragraph up from the top, from the bottom, I should say, the sentence, it was not uncommon at all for a firm to be, the word be, B-E needs to be added to that sentence, to be there for more than one term. Those were the three minor corrections I had. So with that, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the acceptance of the minutes from April 10th, 2025 with the suggested changes, show by a sign of aye. And it's unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to the minutes from May 8th, 2025. Do we have a motion on those minutes? Councilmember Johan Lopez, thank you. And any additions, deletions, or changes? I have a couple, starting on page 2. The third paragraph from the top, the last sentence should read, city is shifting from paper filing to online filing. So the word the should be removed. In the next paragraph, the word MPS should be changed to MTS. That is the correct acronym that should be used. And then in the sixth paragraph down, where it starts with Mr. Burnett asked about we need to insert the Our newspaper, making the correction, remove the word to and add regarding the growth of the grand, G-A-R-N-D, not grantless, but grandless. And I believe I captured most of those changes. Okay, with that, if there's no other changes, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the May 8th minutes as amended, show by a raise of hand, and it's unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to item 4, which is public participation. I do not see anyone physically here in the council. room, chambers. Is there anyone online that wishes to speak? If you could raise your hand electronically. Let's see, it does not appear that we have anyone's hand raised. So at this time, I will close public participation and we will proceed forward with our reports. Starting with report A, which is the update from Oak Hills Park Authority monthly financial statement for April 2025. And we have Alan Dutton from Oak Hills to provide us with that update.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Finance and Claims Committee. It's a pleasure to be here. You have the numbers for April. April is our 10th month of our operation, so 2 months to go. So I'll just give you a brief overview of where we are on a year-to-date basis, talking about revenue, expenses, and income. So on the revenue side, we were budgeted to do $1,746,000. And we are coming in at $1,921,000 after 10 months, so we're $175,000 over our budgeted income. On the expense side, we find ourselves spending $1,592,000, and the budget was $1,592,000. We spent $1,595,000, so only $3,000 over budget on our expenses. So from a net income point of view, prior to obviously any debt service that we pay to the city, what we pay for our leases and capital improvements, we have $325,000 net income for the first 10 months, which makes us $172,000 over our budget. So after 10 months on a net income basis, we're $172,000 ahead of our budgeted net income. So that's just obviously an aerial view. I'm wondering if anybody has any questions on the first 10 months, and there being none, or if there are any, then I can just talk about our budget for next year and a couple of other things that I can bring you up to date on. So any questions on the financials on a year-to-date basis?
Any questions from Mr. Dutton on the year-to-date? Seeing none.
Okay, we have completed our budget. We actually vote on it in a couple of weeks or before the end of the year for next year. And we are actually forecasting this year to come in with an actual, because May and June are two good months for us. We are basically looking to come in with a net income of $546,000, which will be actually a good number for us. What's our forecast? And our budget for next year, we look to make about 436. So we've been a bit more conservative compared to what we think we're actually going to make this year. So our budget for next year on the net income side is $436,000. The restaurant, during the winter, it was open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. And obviously, it's a new thing having the restaurant open during that time. They did have a lot of entertainment. They had bands, which were quite popular. And on Saturdays and Sundays, they did some business. And also they did quite a few private parties, which is good for them and good for us, because private parties are very good from a revenue point of view for them with fixed costs, etc. So they're now up and running, and the private party business is doing well. Golfers are coming. We just have to be a bit careful that we can mix the private party business with the golfer, because we have to take care of our golfers, and it is important that at all times we have space for them to be able to eat and drink when the restaurant is open, not just for private parties. On the capital side, next year, we would look to spend some of our money to complete the second phase of our bunker project. We've spent $180,000 this year on the first phase, been very well received. Then we'll complete that project next year, next fiscal year, and we'll have all our bunkers will be you know, have some nice new sand in it for those who arrive in the bunkers, which is obviously me a lot of the times. Anyway, that's my report. Any questions for anybody?
One question, how's the memberships going? Have you?
Membership, we did fulfill the 50 memberships paying in advance. We were a bit worried because we did change the terms of how you could, you know, if you paid for this annual membership, there were certain privileges. The 1-day booking in advance that nobody else could do was taken away, but we did not see. We have 50 people signed up for our annual memberships. And memberships are pretty much in line with where they were last year and pretty much in line with budget.
Yes.
Thank you, Alan. Quick question. What's the how much are the memberships? I should know.
Well, it kind of depends. You know, it depends if you're a senior. It's I think it's about $120. I think it's $145 if you're a resident. A resident of Norwalk. There are non-resident memberships, which I think are about $250 to $300. I don't exactly have the figures ahead of me, but it is. You know, we are at the high end compared to other municipal courses, but we do believe that we do have a really good product. You know, our actual greens, I think, are really, really good. So that's the area we're in.
Great, thank you.
And while we're on the topic of memberships, what are we doing to promote the use of the tennis courts and the nature trail?
Well, on the nature trail, actually, we have a very active committee. I'm very pleased to say Mary Verrill has joined the Oak Hills Park Authority. He's very active, and we have had a lot of volunteers come out to refurbish the trails. We've put in a new a new lawn basically there, which is not really a lot of grass. It's a lot of natural products. We put the Nature Society participated in Earth Day. I've actually increased the budget for next year. We put in $8,000 in our operating budget for the nature area, and it's actually we've put with the help of Bill Wren, we've put some bird boxes around the course, and we're actually you know, getting more involved in the nature area and promoting it more, which has been a good thing because it has been neglected, I think. Tennis kind of goes from strength to strength. We have a really robust Friends of Tennis group who've actually raised about $120,000 in the last 3 or 4 years. We completed new netting for the whole of the. We got a grant from the USTA for $25,000 to put new netting around there. But we are in the last year of our contract with Oak Hill, with Kings Highway. It's a 5-year contract, so we will be going out. I put together a task force. Robert Stowers is on the committee as well to go out and see who else, you know, would be interested in running our tennis facility. We have a 5-year program, a 5-year contract at this moment in time. It's open from the 1st of May till the end of August is when they're normally involved. But we will be, you know, going, you know, putting together an RFP, working with the city RFP process, and going out to see, as we do with the restaurant, to see who's out there, to see what we can do. And hopefully partner some tennis with golf and, you know, with camps and stuff like that. So that's where we are.
So public service announcement, Oak Hills is not just for golf. We have the
No,
nature
it is not.
trail,
It is
you
for
got
tennis
and
and
you
for
can get a
nature.
good meal all in one visit.
100%.
Great. Is there any additional questions or comments for Oak Hills? Okay, great. Alan, thank you for the update. And now that we're getting some great weather, hopefully more activity, and thanks for all that you do for Oak Hill.
Thank you. Great weather, but we need great weather on Saturdays and Sundays. But thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, moving on to our next reports, item B, C, and D, which is the narrative on tax collections dated June 2025. Item C is the monthly tax collectors report dated May 2025. And item D is the claims committee report dated June 2025. And we are graced with the in-person presence of Lisa B. here in the council chamber. Oh, my goodness.
How nice, thank
That
you.
cat or
The
anything
real
else,
Lisa
no?
B.
The real Lisa B.
Unfortunately, no cats.
No
with me,
animals with me.
But yes, over to you, Liz.
Thank you, thank you, good evening. Since I saw you were in person and I was downstairs, I said I might as well come up. So I bring you three different reports. The claims report this month does not have to be voted on because there are no special requests. So it is for informational purposes, which brings me to the monthly report and the narrative for the end of May. With only 1 month left in the fiscal year, we were at 98.38%. Very, very slightly above where we were last year, but right where we need to be. The month of June is actually our busiest month because we are trying to wrap up the current fiscal year and prepare for the new billing and the new fiscal year. So I have nothing but good news to bring you, not only about the close of the last fiscal year, which is the May report, we're right on track, but with regard to our upcoming billing. We like to try to get our bills out to our taxpayers as early as we can to take advantage of the fact that Norwalk sets its mill rate the first Monday of May by charter mill rates. There are logistics involved with that, and there are things that delay us, primarily software related, and the fact that our local tax relief programs do not, the application period runs through the middle of May. So all that information has to be entered into the system. But our bills right now are either all at the printer already, or they're already in the mail. Which is great, on the 12th of June. So our motor vehicle bills were mailed yesterday. The real estate and the business personal property will probably be mailed next week. Now, they're not even due until July 1st. But people are already paying them. We welcome their payments. They're already available online. So folks have been looking them up and making payments online and making payments in person. And the usual way that we go about our collection period, where you can pay in person at the banks, that's all set up. So we're pretty much at this point, by the second week in June, we're ready to go. So we think the first bills will start arriving in the mailboxes probably tomorrow afternoon. So if you get yours, shoot me an email, let me know. Okay, your motor vehicle bill will come first. Now, motor vehicle bills, we talked about this all year, are generally going down because the assessment method went changed and the mill rate went way down compared to last year at 32.46, this year at 22. So most people will get that bill and see that it went down. You had asked us to include an insert explaining for them what the new methodology was, and we have done that. We've given them, it's basically like a front and back third of a page, and it explains the depreciation schedule and how this is supposed to work. So we did that for the motor vehicle, and then for the real estate bills, we have a separate insert reminding that it is the second year of the 4-year phase-in. The real estate bills are generally probably going to go up because the assessed value that we're taxing on is going up because it's now year 2. And the mill rates also went up because of the situation with the motor vehicle mill rate. So we have an insert in the real estate bill talking about year 2 of the phase-in, but our staff has tried to prepare ourselves for the kind of questions that we're already getting from folks, which is, why did my bill go up so much more this year than it did last year? So that's something that you might be prepared for as well, because you're going to get the same calls that we get. So just be prepared for that. And if you want to look online, you can look up your real estate bill and see what the differences are already. So let's see what else I wanted to speak with you about. Pretty much, I'm really pretty excited that we're in the position we are with getting the bills out, because it allows the taxpayers to budget their money better, because they have really 6 weeks rather than 4 between now and August 1st to pay. Fewer lines, less foot traffic at any given time in the office. It just makes for a smoother experience for us and for our counterparts in the assessors division as well, because they get a lot of our customers as well. So I'm hoping, that it's going to be a good collection, but we're in a good place, I believe. And the only other thing I wanted to speak with you about, I just want to check my narrative. I think that's probably it. Yeah, I have updated since I wrote this on the 9th, because the real estate bills are at the printer now, so we're in very good shape, but I'm glad to answer any questions that you might have.
I would just like to comment that
Yeah, question.
you're doing an amazing job and so efficient, and you're a rock star, and thank you so much for making it so easy for us. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being so thorough, Lisa, too, and communicative with the constituents, because it's so important.
It's an affliction. I can't tone it down, and it's sometimes it's too much, but I can't help myself. I was an English major, so
Well, we're lucky to have you.
thank you. I appreciate that. I'm lucky to
I
be
just
here.
have my standard question, are we gonna hit 99?
Is that-
I don't think we are, but we might.
Okay.
I don't think we are. I don't want to build false hope, so I'll be thrilled if we do, but even if we don't, we're still doing pretty well. So,
Great.
and the levy goes up every year and we're still maintaining, so when you look at how the levy has increased over the last 20 years, we're still maintaining that high rate, so I think that's good. And there've been a lot of changes to technology and things like that. I mean, we're trying to promote the paperless, we're trying to promote the online, the ACH, the electronic check, rather than sending a check, putting a check in the mail stream. We're trying to do those kinds of things, but it's hard. I'm on the Green Committee. This is an aside, but there is still a portion of our demographic that likes to pay in person and likes paper. And I want them to be served as well. So it's good to have green, but we also we just want to get the money in however we can. So if they want to pay in person, that's fine too. So we try to make everybody happy when they pay their taxes.
That was your- Yes.
Great, excellent, excellent.
Any other questions for me? Okay.
No, I think that we're just elated from the good news that we get each month.
Yes.
And as stated, your department, your team, under your leadership is doing a fantastic job. So,
Thank you.
and-
We have a
and-
wonderful
and most
staff. They're
important-
great.
Most importantly, getting information out to taxpayers, because when they get their tax bills and they see different numbers, if they just take a moment and read the information that was provided, I think that will settle the anxiety.
Yeah.
And people will have an understanding as to what is happening, what's going on. So that's a tribute to your team getting that information out. So thank you.
It's on the website too. I was working on that a little bit too. So it should work out well, but we're right where we need to be in the middle of June. I'm very happy. We got to get the money in for Chitsame. Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you.
We'll see you next month.
Okay, we ride along. The next report will be from our tax assessor, Paul Gorman. I know Paul was there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. We can hear you, Paul.
Good evening, everybody. I'd also like to just double up on everybody's praise and heap some more on Lisa for all her hard work and dedication and her patience with working with us to work through all hoops we have to jump through to get those files ready so that she can get those bills out. It's a long and arduous process, and it's always nice when it comes together and we can get the things out on time. From the tax assessor side of things, as we move on from doing what I just described, which was getting all the files ready so that Lisa can get the bills out, we've had some things going on with MTS. We sent out our first batch of letters to potentially new tax liabilities based upon an audit of our last 3 grand list years to find places where people may have gaps in their registration and to try to address those gaps. And also people who just like blatantly just don't renew their registration, but you see the car on the road. And of those kind of findings, we sent out letters to 423 vehicles that could potentially have a tax liability. As of 2 weeks ago, I'll have a new update on Monday, but as of 2 weeks ago, the first report back of the type of response they got to the letters, we had 7 people provided proof to eliminate their case. We had 73 people call in and confirm that the liability that was mentioned in the letter was factual and accurate, and they're ready to be billed. And there's, at that point in time, 2 weeks ago, there were 5 people who had said that they would get paperwork to the people at MTS. And so things are moving along. The city sweep was completed about 2 weeks ago. So hopefully in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we'll probably get our first mailing that goes out to people from the on-street sightings. And then I'll be able to update you with information about that. And it'll be even more like the next update for that first batch of mailings. Hopefully it'll come with how many bills we're sending out and potentially how much extra taxes we're going to be collecting. So the report should become more detailed as more of the process is led into. Other things that have gone on, we have, as Lisa mentioned, the elderly program ended in May, on May 15th. So all the people that reapplied were applied to their bills. We're getting in dribs and drabs some approvals from OPM for extensions for those people that had health concerns or asked the IRS for a delay in their filing so they get an extension from OPM for the time frame in which they're allowed to apply for the program. And the main thrust of what we're doing now, it's the good weather, and we're going out and doing our permit inspections. We are getting our prorated assessments on for things that have been completed. One big building of note that should be coming online, I believe their opening date is scheduled for July, I believe the Wegmans is set to be completed. So we'll be prorating on the remainder of that assessment. So that should make for a good summer, and in addition to the grand list. And there's a couple other big projects, but I can't really predict when they'll be done. One of the biggest things going on is we have 467 West Avenue, which is a brand new apartment building that's going to house 693 apartments. And then most of the first floor is going to be either retail or commercial space. And we have started our program of getting information off of the web about houses that have recently sold or are currently for sale, whereby we go and we analyze the listings and find out if there's any factual errors on our field cards. So like if somebody finished their basement without a permit, we take that into consideration, add it onto the field card, and prorate it appropriately for the time that we found it. That's pretty much the assessor's office in a nutshell right now. If there's any question. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the most important thing that probably everybody's been talking about is I've been working closely with Vanessa and Tom in the DPW on the rolling out of the new garbage/recycling program. Unfortunately, it's still a work in progress because the list keeps being updated for more people to be included. And most recently this morning, I had about a half-hour conversation with Vanessa about our properties in town that are called PUDs. They're single-family homes, but they kind of live condo style because they're cluster homes. Some of them are on properties where they own some of the land. Some of them are on properties that it's one big block, like White Barnes Lane. That's 30 properties on one big block. They don't own the land, but they are single-family homes. So there's some decision-making process going on if they're going to continue to offer them the recycling that they've been receiving. I don't know what the final decision is going to be, but it sounded to me like that they were tending towards the idea of keeping the service with the people rather than taking it away. And hopefully I'll have that answer soon. Unfortunately, without that having been finalized prior to the bills going out, we're going to have to do certificates of corrections to those people who need to be added and or removed from the garbage mill rate in the town. But we'll deal with that as it comes. Any questions?
Just two questions. One for the senior tax relief program. Do you have any data as it relates to if we've added any new eligible seniors to the list?
Well, there's new people every year. I don't know how many off the top of my head, because unfortunately, my person who normally gives me those statistics has been out sick for the past 3 days. She threw out her back. But I'm going to also, by the next meeting, I will have all the final numbers on that, along with that quartile comparison that we've been doing the last couple of years.
Yes.
And I'll have all the nitty-gritty details for you guys then, because we'll also have more of the people finalized, because the people who have received extensions, a lot of them tend to come in within the next 90 days after the closing period of the program.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The other item was the identifying the vehicles that are registered out of state. I know we talked about it last month. Any further update, or they're still just going through their process of identifying vehicles?
Yeah, they're still going through their process. I know that the sweep has been completed as probably the couple of weeks ago when I last spoke with the people over at MTS, and it's now they got to put all the cases together and get the letters ready and send me over the batch of letters for approval to be sent out. And but the problem is that you're limited in the person who registers their car in Florida, and we've had this conversation before. If they park it on the street, yeah, it's going to get picked up in the sweep most likely. But if they're parking in a garage, the only way we know about it is if somebody calls me and tells me. And we've had that happen. People have called in and have been reporting other people in town saying, hey, they've had this car there for 3 years. And I then send off a letter to an email off to MTS to ask them to pay specific attention to that address.
Good. Any questions or comments for the tax assessor?
I have
Yes.
one question. This is not about the specific things. What is the mechanism? You know, I end up in a lot of fires where people's homes have burned down. Is there a way, do they get reassessed if their home is unlivable? You know, for a year while they're, fixing it up or something, if it's.
That
you know
is
what I'm asking?
It's a great, yeah, I know. That's a great question. That was actually one of the questions that was asked to me for the first job I ever went for when I first was ever hired back in 2006 in Trumbull. And it's not as simple as you would think. There's actually a state statute that covers it. I don't remember the state statute number, but basically what it says is if there's like an act of God, a fire, a storm, something that causes severe damage to the house, and let's just say it happens on January 1st. If it's bad enough that the house is deemed that it needs to be knocked down, if the house is knocked down and the foundation is filled in or dug out and filled in and certified by the building department that it has been completely removed, then I am allowed to go back to that date and prorate the building off of their value. But if it happens mid-year and it's not necessary to remove the building and it's just damage and it's damage that's going to get fixed, my hands are tied. I cannot make an adjustment for that person for the grand list year that's falling in. So let's just say it happened to somebody on January 1st of this year. I wouldn't be able to adjust their bill for the bills that are coming out in July for what happened in January unless they completely knock the house down. And we actually have a real life example of that that happened in town. I think it was 17 Pequot over by Shorehaven. And they had a major fire, and I actually happened to drive by it and saw it and got in contact with the owner, explained all the rules to him, and said to give me a call if they had the intention, if it turned out that they're going to completely knock it down. Now, he never contacted me back to say that that's the case, so I'm assuming they're going forward with a repair. But with all that said, if on October 1st of this year, let's just say the insurance company's giving a hard time and nothing's been done, then by all means, for October 1 of 2025, we would readjust the value of the property to say, okay, the building is in such disrepair, instead of being worth $500,000, it's only worth $50,000, basically leaving the value of the foundation on there. And then when the repairs were completed, we would then go out, reassess the new building, and prorate it on at the appropriate time. Does that make sense?
We have one right around the corner from City Hall here, and it's a stone building, so I don't know if the stones are coming down, but it's pretty much destroyed. And it's really hard for people to, pay for a hotel or alternate living situation while they're trying to like gut the inside. And if you don't want to tear down an old house and it's a historic house, it's really hard.
Yeah, I understand. Like I said, my hands are tied by the statutes. I try to go, I'll be honest with you, I try to go lenient on them when it comes time to having to do the prorate the next time, to try to make it up to them on the back end, not to be so cruel. But it happens a lot. We had, I think it was about 2 years ago, there was a 9-unit condo. I forget the street address, but a drunk driver crashed into the building and caused a lot of structural damage to the 9 units, and the 9 units were all deemed unlivable. But the insurance, no one determined that it ever needed to be knocked down. So unfortunately, those homeowners had to pay the full boat while they fought with the insurance company until the following October 1st, and then we lowered the value. So if this house that you speak of, was it a fire? Was it a storm?
That one was a fire. And there's also one this month that on Elmcrest Terrace where it's, owned condos where I think 3 of them needed to be gutted, unlivable, but there were livable units. So, but we taxed the entire building.
Well, the condos are taxed separately. So
they would
but
have
no,
to
they would have
the
to come in and
foundation's
make me
not going
aware.
away.
Yeah.
So they're still paying for something that's unlivable, even though, because the foundation's there, you're saying.
Well, no, yeah, if it was just, if they're burned down to the foundation, if it's a condo, so I'm guessing there's just like a gap in the line where there's condos to the left still and condos to the right still.
Yeah.
Definitely have them give me a call. I'll have my inspector go over and take some pictures, and we'll see if there's anything we could do with them, because that's it's a little bit murkier of a situation when you're dealing with connected living. I'd have to look to see if there's any loopholes in the statute about that I'm not aware of. So I'm more than happy to take a look into it.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
No, it's good. It's
Great. If there's no other questions or comments, Paul, thank you for the update. And we look forward next month to see the report on the elderly relief tax program.
Okay, you guys have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Moving on to new business, item 7A reads as follows: authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to Soft Choice Corporation in the amount of $95,099.99 annually for 3 years, not to exceed a total of $285,299.97 for the Varnus Data Security Platform. The account number as noted under cybersecurity. Do we have a motion on this item? Councilmember Johan Lopez, thank you. And we have our IT Director Joyce Liu to give us a narrative on this item.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So this agenda item is asking for the committee's approval for a 3-year renewal agreement with Varonis Software. Varonis is a data security platform that CTIT has been using since 2019 and to help protect sensitive information on-prem. So Varonis provide clear visibility into who is accessing our CT file and when its access occurred and what action were taken within that data. So it issue alert for suspicious activity to IT staff, which is help us prevent data breaches, respond to audits, and maintain the compliance with the privacy regulation. So of course, before we commit to a longer term agreement, we evaluate several other solutions on the market. After a thorough comparison, Varonis still remain the best fit for our needs. So given the growing a frequency and cost of a cyber attack, I'm sure this agreement with Varonis will be a proactive and strategic investment for the city. I'm happy to answer any question regarding this purchase.
I have a
Right.
question.
Yes.
Thank you for the narrative. Is this in addition, is this like an additional level of cybersecurity, or is this is this sort of the level of protection that we have and we're continuing to employ it over the next 3 years?
This is an existing one. So
Okay.
this Varonis basically is providing kind of file level kind of access like security monitoring for us. So CTIT, we cannot monitor our environment 24/7, and lots of time even within the office hour we are in and out doing our regular business. So with the software out there monitoring the activity. So maybe at 3 a.m. in the morning, somebody a person will access a file with a social security number, start moving the file or start deleting or renaming it, it will get notified us right away. Yeah, so it also have a follow-up action. So if we find out one person is accessing a profile, we'll be able to disable the profile immediately or disconnect the network access. So that's this kind of action software is really help out adding kind of security how do you call it make our peace make our mind feel like more ease and peaceful if when we have the software out there like this for us.
And it covers, I'm just curious, does it cover all the departments of the city?
Yes, that's
Okay.
throughout the whole city, not the Board of Education, just the city side.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, hearing seen none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of authorizing this purchase, show by sign of aye. And it is unanimous. Thank you. So, Joyce, we will bring this item forward to the full common council for review and approval at the Tuesday, June 24th, common council meeting.
Thank you.
Moving on to item B, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to GovConnect LLC for VMware licensing and support services in the following amounts: $77,875.60 for year one, $91,616.80 for year two, and $105,366.80 for year three, for a total not to exceed $274,859.20 over 3 years. The account allocation number as noted under cybersecurity. Do we have a motion on this item? Councilmember Ann Witherspoon, thank you. Joyce, over to you to provide the background on this authorization.
Thank you. So this agenda item is request approval for a 3-year, it's a renewal of our VMware licensing. So VMware is a core part of the city's IT infrastructure. We've been utilizing VM for about 10 years. With transition from physical, server to virtual environment using VMware. It's now supporting, like a key service such as our internet services, firewall, SQL servers, local exchange server, on-premise vendor server, file server, printer server. And these servers are essential, serving as a backbone for the daily city operation. VMware, they let us run multiple systems on the fewer physical machines. So it's reduced the cost, improve the reliability, and it keeps service running even during the hardware failure. It used to be when the server is down, we need to drive all the way to our data center and restart the server. Now with VMware, our system admin team will be able to remote in, figure out what's going on and restart the server. Or when moving, if one equipment is failure, they can be fallback to another one. So it's really make our life easier and to deploy the new server, manage the system efficiently and perform reliable backup. By renewing our license, ensure we continue receiving critical security update, maintenance, and technical support from VMware. This renewal is really essential to maintain a stable security and scalable IT environment that meets city's ongoing needs. So I'm here happy to answer any questions.
I guess Councilmember Heather Dunn.
Hi, what is the cost of, what are we paying for this year? The reason I'm asking is because it looks like there's a 25% increase over 2 years.
Yes.
And how much did it increase from this year till this contract would be?
The current year we are going to renew in July. The current year, we're paying is around 55,000. The thing is, VMware got bought by Broadcom, so they kind of restructure their I think their clients, so their how do you call it, this the model that they are trying to charge the client. So that's why we find that we've been paying annually, but this year, since the price is sudden jump, so we feel like we have the need to go lock in the 3 years to just make sure budget wise. There is not much competition out there. There are some VMware out there, but the thing is, VMware, this company is still the best on the market. And yeah, so it's kind of caught off guard. Even our reseller is kind of, we have a couple meeting to figure out what is going on, what is happening. And they are saying that, oh, the VMware the customer, they're all out there, they're all caught off guard with this price increase. Yeah, so.
They're essentially projecting, they're planning to double it in 2-3 years. Their-
Yes, that's
their
what they are
cost.
trying
And
to do. Right. Actually, this year, if I need to renewal for the first year just for annually, I think it's about 90,000, So they are going to, what they are doing is like a logging for 3 years, divide this 3 year into, 270 divide into 3 into 90,000 90,000 per year. That's that's their plan. So they try to ease in their customer into a price increase. Yeah. So we are not really happy with the end result, but it hit up every single VMware customer out there, and nobody is happy. And yeah, so.
And it's still more cost effective to lock into the 3-year license?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
don't know, yeah,
Well,
we get competition in the
right.
next 2 years, and so that would be my next question is, this is a lock-in of a price, or like, if somebody came along 2 years from now and they wanted to offer it to us at $77,000, do we have the option to do that, or is this just a guaranteed for us and them?
Yeah, we got
So
a
this says it's a quote.
yes, we got the multiple quotes, from 3 different vendor. We try to be, go through a lot of vendor to try to get the lowest bid. But then again, the base is right there, so there is, the vendor can cut us some kind of slack on the price, but it's not, it's not going to be a lot. So in the end, we choose Gulf Connection because they are on the state contract. They kind of give us the best price.
Good. Are you aware if, is the Board of Ed network using the same VMware licensing and support?
They are not using VMware. Our scale is much bigger. But I overheard, we have a conversation with David. I think he is also want to get into the VM server, VMware to manage the server. So he hasn't got the quote yet. So I think when he got the quote, he will be got a surprise too.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments related to this? If not, I'll call the question. All those in favor of this authorization to the purchasing agent shall by raise of hand, and it is unanimous. So Joyce, again, we will bring this forward to the full common council on Tuesday, June 24th for final review and approval.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you. And this brings us to item C, which reads as follows: resolution to transfer unexpended funds to fund replacement floor at Norwalk Firehouse number 1. Be it resolved that a special capital appropriation of $660,064.80 is hereby transferred from the combined dispatch capital project for the communication upgrade, account number noted, to the city's fire department for the floor replacement project at station number 1 located at 90 New Canaan Avenue. Project specifics are detailed and described in Exhibit A attached here too. A new account number will be created upon final approval of this transfer. Can we have a motion on this item? Councilmember Johan Lopez, thank you. And we have with us Chief Gino Gatto and Deputy Chief Mark Conti to provide us additional background on this special capital appropriation.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and committee members. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, I will just throw it right over to Mark, Deputy Chief Conti. He's our subject matter expert. He's been dealing with this well over a year now. And he's your guy. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, committee members. So Station 1 on New Canaan Avenue was built in 1961. This is the original floor. Throughout the years, there has been settling and there has been some movement in the floor. The last several years, it has gotten much worse. It has gotten much worse, and there have been a lot of cracks that have formed in that floor. And basically, when that's a drive-through station, there's 3 bays in that station. There are two full-time apparatus in that station, engine 1 and truck 1. They drive in and drive out. So they're not backing in. The slab moves every time they drive in, it bounces. Every time they drive out, it bounces. So what I did last year was I brought Bill Ireland, chief of the building department, there to witness it. And he very quickly, strongly recommended me getting a geotechnical engineer. So we contracted a geotechnical engineer, GZA. They did several, it's extensive in the report. They did several tests, pile tests, and soil tests, and they deemed that the soil underneath that, basically that building is built on piers. The building is completely stable. It's on good foundation. That floor was all backfill, and it's not proper backfill. So they came up with 3 options for us. First option would be to excavate over 10 feet of the whole floor, rip the slab out, 10 feet of the whole floor, which would require shoring up the building, underpinning the building. And it's still, like they said, we could be going even further than that. So that was a very costly, and we'd have to vacate the building during the construction, which is not really a good option for Broad River. We need to staff that firehouse at all times. The second option was we could just excavate down, partial excavation. However, they stated that's not a permanent fix, and that could last 5 years. That could last. They have no idea, and they did not recommend that. There's no guarantee, and it would be at the owner's risk. So we felt that was not the option. The best option would be a pile supported slab. This is where they drill helical piles in throughout the slab. They remove the slab, drill piles in, and essentially what it does is it bypasses the soil underneath it to the good ground further down, and it's a permanent fix. And that's the option that we went with, and that's the option that they designed. So there'll be 48 piles within the floor. It's a permanent fix, like I said, and it goes down to it goes down to the good soil underneath, pretty much. And with that, there's also, we know what we had was a lot of erosion underneath on the field side, the ball field side. That started happening with the soil movement. We started losing soil underneath. They're also going to berm that up and basically put retention on the outside of the building to help hold that in as well. And that's their recommended fix. So this is their recommended contractor. They work with them with helical piles, AV Tucci, and I'll take any questions.
One question I have is that, is there any type of guarantee with this fix? You outlined to us that there's 3 possible options. We're going with this option. However, with the overall erosion that has occurred over the years, is there any guarantee that this fix will work? Or if it doesn't work, will whoever we're contracting with to do the work, will they guarantee their work?
Yeah, so great question. This method with helical piles is a guaranteed, it is an industry standard method that they use. Basically, they use this method of piles when you have issues of vibration, which we would have if we were going to be driving piles, because you're essentially they're corkscrews and you're screwing the piles into the ground. And this is a proven method. This is done throughout the country, and it is a permanent method. This is why they recommended it. This is guaranteed. They're actually, especially on the shore in sandy environment, their brand new buildings are built on these piles. If that helps answer the question, that's how guaranteed these are. They're all galvanized piles that they go. And what they are going to do is excavate a certain portion out, compact it, and bring it up. So they're basically they're going to re-level underneath it and recompact to as best they can. But now those piles are going to hold all the load of the slab, and they're going to compact underneath on the ball field side to that, which will that's a simple fix that will just eliminate any of that erosion. So that's essentially it is a permanent fix. Yes.
Is there any exposure that as we place these piles in place that there could be any type of impact or damage to the building foundation, which is fairly old?
So no, that's actually why the two options that they have, they're called you could do ductile iron piles, they call them dip piles, or you could do helical. The iron piles, you actually have to drive them into the ground. That causes vibration, to your point, and that is exactly why they did not recommend them, because of the building. So these piles do not cause any vibration or disturbance. They essentially screw into the ground until they achieve the capacity load that the engineer shoots for, basically. So it's a very non-invasive type of system, and it also enables us to keep. We'll keep the engine company intact there, because we're going to do it in two phases. Remove the two slabs, the first two bays, fix that slab, and then move them over and bring the truck, and then we could fix the other slab. So it enables us to do it that way as well.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Heather Dunn.
Hi, where are you projecting that the staging would happen, in the parking lot, or is the road gonna have to be closed down?
Road won't have to be closed down. So it's because we have, there's actually pretty decent space there, but we have 3 bays. And so we're going to be able to utilize the whole front apron of those 3 bays. They actually don't take up a lot of room. There's for the 48 piles. They come in essentially 5-foot extensions. So it's not a huge amount of, if they're going down 20 feet, they're not 20-foot piles, they'll be 4 or 5-foot piles or something of that nature. So we have plenty of room for staging on both sides, because of, by nature, the way that building was built, we have an approach on the back end, and then we have our exit. So we can take those first 2 bays, we're going to be able to stage on the outside of the building. So
Okay, so there won't be any traffic impact.
no, will not be.
The other thing is, I think we are all aware of the construction, multi-million-dollar construction renovation of the fields. Are you coordinating with Vanessa about that? And the reason I'm asking is you're talking about the berms, and is the berm guiding water toward the firehouse or away? And are you, okay, so that's my next question.
Yeah, no, it's a way, it's a very small, the height of that, and I don't know off the top of my head, is barely 3 feet. So we're not talking about a very we're not talking about a very long berm like we would be thinking of. This is really much to retain right on our property. It's going to be going out a few feet, pretty much.
So is the water flowing? Does the berm create the situation of the water is going towards the firehouse or towards the field?
It would be toward the field, but like I said, it's a very small. Right now, that field is it's lower. It's essentially just it was actually excavated down. This is before I was there, but it was down lower than the foundation. We're bringing it up to the foundation again. Is pretty much what is being done to the original. But we will definitely discuss with them. This is now that we have all the drawings, and we will coordinate with them. But it's very minimal on that side, though. It's not a very tall, big berm. You're talking a few feet, really. It's really, I mean, it's very small. It's more just like a
I guess my question or concern was that if if they do a multi-million-dollar field upgrade and then you put a berm in or something, and then all of a sudden there's more water shushing off.
No, that's.
You really need to coordinate with Vanessa to make sure that it's not additional water at all that they aren't planning for.
Mhm.
So my last question is, you talked about excavating underneath, and I know that we were just in a meeting, I think last night, where we were talking about the PFAS that you guys were using at one point, and thank you, aren't anymore. When you do excavation, is there any kind of concern about the soil testing, that there might be additional costs that you might find, oops, that we need to remediate any of it?
So during the testing, they did extensive testing of all the soil and they haven't found anything. So that was part of that's part of what GZA did. So, and there is no, that we would not have used it there. So which is a good thing too. So.
That's great, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
I just have and you may have covered this, I apologize. In terms of any disruption of services, or suspension of, fire services, response?
Yeah, no, there won't be because
Okay.
that's why we're doing it in phases the way we are. Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, there will always be, it will be occupied during the whole process.
Okay,
The firehouse, yes.
all right. Thank you.
The question I have might be, you may know the answer, it might be better addressed to CFO Jared Smith. The amount that we see here, does this include any contingency for the project? It does.
Yes, it does. It includes a 10% contingency.
Okay. Because I know sometimes we separate the cost of the project and then have another like an A and B for contingency, but this total 66K, 660K includes contingency.
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay. I guess the other, I'll take that offline with Jared. I'm curious as to how much more do we have in this communication account?
Because I think there should.
That we're able to transfer 660K. I know that communication project was, if I recall, close to 15 million that we allocated. Do we have much more in this line item account?
There is a decent amount more left. Can you hear?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, yes.
Right. Okay, great. Yeah, sorry about that. Good evening. Yes, there is a decent amount left in there. At the time when we were making this change, there was 5.4 million left in there. And so we plan to use that amount toward additional projects that come up in the future and toward other projects that are on the capital improvement plan as well that come up. So it's a good situation because that happened before my time, but that communications project didn't cost as much as we thought it was going to. There may still be some aspects that need to be done on the fire side. I know that police department has completed whatever they need to do, but there might be a couple of smaller projects that still need to be done related to that project. But in general, there should still be somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 million remaining that could be allocated to other projects in the future.
We'll take it.
Yes, we'll take it. Love it. Love those situations.
Yes, we'll see the chief once again soon. Okay, are there any other questions or comments related to this overlay? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor of this resolution, so by raise a hand. And it's unanimous. So I believe this item still needs to go before the Board of Estimate Taxation, before it goes to the
Correct.
Common Council. And also an account number needs to be applied. So we'll wait for those updates before, at the appropriate time, when they'll come before the council, full council for final review and approval.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. Great, thank you. Okay, with that, do we have a motion to adjourn? Councilmember Ann Winterstrand. And two hands up for.
Last day of school tomorrow.
All right, all those in favor, it's unanimous. Thank you. We close at 8:20. Thanks for your participation and have a great rest of the evening.